Welcome to Shadowing English.
Listen, learn, and improve your English effortlessly. Speak like a native.
Hello, my friends, and a very warm welcome back to Shadowing English. I'm Alex, and today we're going to delve into a common challenge: forgetting English words. Let me pose a question to you. Have you ever experienced this scenario? You learn a new word, you understand its meaning, and you feel a sense of accomplishment. Yet, just a day or two later, that word seems to have vanished. You find yourself thinking, I definitely learned this word before, but I just can't recall it now. If this sounds familiar, please understand that you are neither unintelligent nor inept at English, and you are certainly not alone. This phenomenon is something that happens to absolutely everyone. Today, I'm going to share some straightforward, practical methods to help you overcome the frustration of forgetting English vocabulary. These are easy to implement, manageable strategies that genuinely work in real-life learning situations. Right. First and foremost, let's explore why times we forget words, as this understanding is truly crucial. We don't forget words because we are poor learners. Rather, it's a fundamental aspect of how the human brain operates. Think of your brain as being similar to a muscle. If you exercise it regularly, it grows stronger. But if it remains unused, it will inevitably weaken. When you encounter a new word just once, your brain registers it as novel. However, it then asks, is this information important? If that word doesn't reappear in your experience, your brain often concludes, okay, I'll discard this. This is a perfectly normal process. Your brain is inherently wired to conserve energy, retaining only what it deems genuinely useful. So, allow me to state this unequivocally. Forgetting words is normal. In fact, forgetting words is evidence that your brain is actively working to manage information efficiently. The key, then, is not to simply learn times more times words. Instead, the solution lies in encountering the same times word repeatedly in various contexts. Many learners fall into the trap of trying to absorb too much vocabulary at once. They aim for 10, 20, or even 50 new words a day. While this might make them feel busy and productive, their brain often becomes overwhelmed and fatigued, and a tired brain is much more prone to forgetting. Here's a far more effective approach. Learn one word, and then encounter it many, many times. For instance, let's take an incredibly simple word, morning. It's a word you all undoubtedly understand. You don't necessarily need 10 entirely new words today. What you times need is exposure to good morning, morning coffee, morning routine, in the morning, and a morning person. You see, it's the same word, but presented in different environments. This helps your brain to effectively say, ah, I believe this word holds significance. And subsequently, your brain commits it to memory. Now, let me share something incredibly important with you. So please pay very close attention. Words, quite simply, do not thrive in isolation. A word, standing alone is inherently weak and consequently easily forgotten. When a word is presented by itself, your brain struggles to assign it a purpose or context. Consider this single word, cold. Now, pause for a moment and reflect. Cold times what asterisk? Cold weather? Cold water? Cold coffee? Cold hands? Your brain immediately begins to generate questions, and this very process leaves the word feeling indistinct and unclear. When a word lacks clarity, your brain finds it challenging to retain it for an extended period. Now, listen again, but this time with complete sentences. It is cold today. I like cold water. My hands are cold. Do you perceive the difference? The word cold is no longer isolated. It has found its place. It possesses meaning. It feels tangible and real. This vital place is known as context. Context, in essence, is the natural habitat of a word, the specific situation in which it lives. It signifies how the word is actually used in real life, surrounded by other words. Context assists your brain in grasping a word clearly and recalling it with far greater ease. When you attempt to learn a word in isolation, your brain tends to discard it quickly. However, when you learn a word embedded within a complete sentence, your brain understands it more profoundly and remembers it for much longer. Therefore, please commit this straightforward yet incredibly potent rule to memory. Never learn a word in isolation. Always integrate the word into a sentence. A sentence provides a home for the word, anchoring its meaning. All right, my friends. Now I'd like to ask you to do something small, but quite courageous. I want you to articulate the words out loud, using your actual voice, not just in your head, not whispered quietly, but audibly. This is important because English isn't merely a subject for contemplation. It's a language that requires active use of your mouth, your ears, and your brain function in concert. When you pronounce a word aloud, your brain processes the sound of that word once more. Each time your brain perceives the word, it reinforces the understanding that this word is important. This active engagement strengthens the memory and makes it considerably easier to retain. Let's try this together now. Slowly and calmly, I will articulate a sentence, and I'd like you to simply listen first. I drink water in the morning. Now, please repeat the sentence along with me. There's no need to rush. Say it slowly. I drink water in the morning. Good. Very good indeed. Now, let's say it one more time together. Again, clearly and slowly. Articulate it aloud, please. Okay. I drink water in the morning. Excellent. Every instance you speak, you are actively assisting your brain in the process of remembering. You are forging a robust memory pathway, not a fragile one. So, please bear this simple concept in mind. Listening is beneficial, but speaking is even more so. The combined power of listening and speaking is what truly helps you to commit English words to long-term memory. All right. Now, allow me to share a small secret regarding English language acquisition. You don't need to dedicate extensive periods to studying. You don't need an hour, nor do you need 2 hours. Your brain, in fact, does not favor prolonged study sessions. Lengthy periods tend to exhaust your brain. A fatigued brain, as we've discussed, forgets with ease. Your brain thrives on short, focused sessions, perhaps 5 or 10 minutes, but crucially, every single day, This consistent daily engagement is paramount. For example, imagine you learn one new word today. You review the word in the morning for just 5 minutes. Then you pause. Later that evening, you encounter the same word again within a different sentence for another brief 5 minutes. This methodical approach is known as spaced repetition. Spaced signifies that there are intervals or spaces between your learning sessions. Repetition means you encounter the same word time and again. So, you don't merely learn the word once. You learn it, you take a break, and then you encounter it again later, embedded in a new sentence. Your brain finds this method highly effective. The first time, the word is new. The second time, it begins to feel familiar. By the third time, the word often feels effortless. This is precisely how memory consolidates and grows. 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes the day after. This is infinitely more effective than studying for one long, exhaustive day and then neglecting it for many subsequent days. So, please remember this straightforward rule. Short study times are good, but consistent engagement over many days is superior. Small, deliberate steps every day will help your brain retain English words for the long haul. Okay, now I want you to internalize this very clearly. Forgetting is not a sign of failure. Forgetting is an inherent and natural part of the learning process. The fact that you are learning English signifies that you are growing, expanding your abilities. You will times forget words. That is entirely normal. What truly matters is not the speed at which you learn, but your unwavering commitment to continuing with those small, consistent steps each and every day. Your progress in English is never truly lost. Instead, it is steadily, quietly, and powerfully building. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Shadowing English. I'm Alex, and until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and I wish you happy holidays.